If you're stuck in trading right now, then chances are you are, but it's not your fault because the moment you change your environment, your identity snaps into a completely new version of yourself automatically. In this video, I'm going to share with you a little of my backstory, the identity reset frameworks that I use, and the 3 environments that you need to change. Growing up in the North was peaceful, humble, and we were basically all satisfied with just getting by. I basically started fixing phones at the age of 10. I had an early hustler mindset, but surrounded by people who weren't thinking big. Ambitions existed for me, but wasn't activated because my environment did not demand it. The truth here is, your environment sets the ceiling for how far you think you can go. When I was done with high school, I basically lost my mom, and I got admission to study abroad, but I couldn't actually travel because obviously I lost my mom, and it felt like I had a graveyard of hollowed out ambitions. But instead of actually collapsing because of my loss, I had to double down on work. So I told my dad, I said I needed to get back to doing what I had started on before, and he took me to somewhere in area 10, and I met with this man who, I continued to learn how to fix phones from. The truth is, pain can make you stagnant, or it can push you to a whole new phase, but all that depends on your environment. So whilst I was busy hustling, I met some friends who actually shared the same visions as me. I'm talking about JP, Austin, and the likes of them. And we were hustling. In addition to the phones I was fixing, I started selling SIM cards, and they introduced me to the business, obviously. And JP had to go to school, and I had to come join him in the same school. My first mindset shift really was when I actually went to school in Delta State. And when I got to Delta, everything just changed instantly. I basically remember at the time my classmate was holding an iPhone X, and I was thinking to myself, God, when? Because in Delta State, you could actually see young guys basically driving cars, spending a lot of money in clubs, buying expensive clothes, and it actually didn't matter how they made their money, but the truth is, it opened my perspective as to what's actually possible. The key point here is that exposure changes you. When you see what's possible for people your age, something inside you just wakes up. Back home where I came from, everybody just wanted to manage life, and in Delta State, it actually didn't matter if the hustle was wrong, but the ambition level was like 10x. I didn't actually choose to do fraud, but I observed the mentality that I was more, I could do more, I could basically achieve more, and then I shouldn't settle for less. And then there's different levels to life which I wanted to reach at the time. Instead of actually doing what the others were doing, I got introduced to Forex by a friend, and at the time I had some money saved up, and the guy was basically just offering account management services, which at the end of the day, he started a day trading academy that I ended up being a student. Shout out to Ochiko FX in Delta State. And at the end of my training as a mentee, I worked for a few months there before actually leaving to get more for myself. When your mindset expands, you start to see opportunities that have always been there, but your old identity was just blind to those opportunities. There's a saying, you behave like the average of what surrounds you. And when you change your environment, your habits change with them as well. And when your habits change, your identity follows. Discipline actually fails without environmental change because it's hard to grow in an environment that constantly drains you. It's hard to be ambitious around people who constantly mock ambition. And that actually brings me to the 3 environments that you need to change, starting with your physical environment. Now, the first change you need to make in your physical environment is to move houses. For example, you live in a family house or you live with siblings. There's always noise, there's always visitors, there's always clutter. You don't even have a private space or a room or a desk setup where you could actually sit and brainstorm. You need to move. You need to move into a place that's actually cheaper, or if possible, move in with a friend that actually shares the same goals and the same ambitions with you. There and then, you have someone to actually hold you accountable as to the things you need to achieve. Because trust me, you can't birth new and tangible ideas with noise. If your environment limits your opportunities, you need to explore a city that supports your goals better. For example, if you are a forex trader basically, and you're looking to network so much with other traders, I'd say cities like Abuja, Lagos, maybe Delta State itself, and the rest of them, are filled with traders that are filled with people that are really into trading as opposed to other states in Nigeria. That's what I think. So if you're looking to network with other traders, it's convenient enough for you to do that online without actually moving cities. But if the need for that arises, then I think you need to act upon that, because sometimes a fresh location gives you more clarity and less distraction. The next thing you need to do in your physical environment is to change your daily routine. You need to learn how to weaponize time. The biggest things that actually changed for me was using a concept that I called time blocking. So I would basically create a system, a routine for myself, and every morning when I wake up, let's say between 7 to 8, I'll do some workout. You mustn't go to the gym if you can't afford a gym subscription. You can basically get free apps on your phone and do some home workout. And after that, from 7 to 8, maybe I take a shower, I have my breakfast, and then I get to work. From 9 to 10, I can decide to say I'm learning how to make content. From 10 to 11, I'm watching new videos, in Forex, and then maybe from 12 all the way down to 4, you want to look at the charts. Really, you don't have to trade, but some of you wake up every day and think what you need to do is to do more things to achieve your goals. But productivity is not about how much things you get done. It's not about how much things you do. It's about what you get done in your working period. Now, I don't want you to fall into the trap of actually copying someone's routine. You need to build a routine tailored and personalized to you, a routine that is actually tailored to your goals, your ambitions, your environment, and stuff like that. Most people's lives are determined by how they choose to cure their boredom. The question is, what do you do when you're bored? For some, they could spend 8 to 10 hours a day watching a series on Netflix, and that's 8 to 10 hours that you could use. That's 8 to 10 hours you can spend hammering and beating your craft into submission. Your algorithm actually shapes your mindset in more ways that you can, and I'll give you an example. Just take a look at your Explore page. What kind of content do you see? Now, the thing here is, most beginner traders, what they do is they go to the page of the traders they aspire to be like, which sometimes to me I think is a trap, because by the time you're seeing someone post profits of $1 million running trades in profit, you start to think like you're actually not doing enough. You start to think like you're stuck. You start to want to use those heavy lot sizes on your $100 account, but you forget that growing a small account is not about growing a small account, because as the account actually grows, it grows you in return. It grows your psychology, your trade management skills, and your risk management skills as well. The environment in your phone is actually more powerful than the environment in the city where you live. Next, you want to change your social environment, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. Now, here's a concept about friends that I didn't understand earlier on in my life. You see, when you spend time with people, one of two things always happen. You're either adjusting some parts of you to fit in with that circle, or that circle of friends will have to adjust to fit in with you. And at the end of the day, you find yourself picking up habits you never thought you could pick up, simply because you've been spending time with the wrong people. But then again, if you think about it, unless someone wants to be influenced in a negative or positive way, no one actually will. So sometimes when you find yourself around good people as well, you need to be receptive to some level of change. You need to be ready to allow these people take you outside that area that's just not your comfort zone, because growth does not come with comfort. It comes with so much pain. So at the end of the day, you either need to upgrade your circle or learn to walk alone. Now, the truth is, unless you fix your environment, and I've listed the environments that you need to change, you're definitely not going to see results in trading, in life, and whatever you actually do. Because the lack of structure in other areas of your life is gradually seeping into trading, and that's what's disrupting your whole routine. There's a saying that how you treat anything is basically how you treat everything. If you are so complacent waking up in the morning to go to the gym, you're not disciplined enough, you're not creating an environment for you to stick to the rules and the goals you've set for yourself, it's not going to change in trading. Some of you are actually going to watch this video until the end and take action, and some of you will close it and actually do nothing. But I want you to prove me wrong. Take action today, fix your environment, and it starts by you clicking this next video. I'll see you guys in another one.